Pablo, you're a big proponent of healthy priorities, conquering overthinking, becoming aware of distractions, mastering a skill or a craft, understanding oneself. How did this become such an importance to you?
That's a fantastic question, and I wouldn't say there was one thing that made it so important. It was a chain of events. When I was 16, I got introduced to multi-level marketing, just like you, and I got into a company called One Coin, One Life, and the company was selling a cryptocurrency in initial phase, and I was brand new. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to sell, how to speak. I didn't know anything about business or about psychology. But I knew that I wanted to do something with my life other than just play games and go to the gym and be a typical dude. And that's when I got introduced to the whole self-help world, sales world, business world, and my mentor told me that I don't have to know much to succeed, but I had to take a lot of action to succeed. And in the first 3 months in that company, I've made a revenue of like $40,000. So one product or like one sale was $600. I've made like, I don't know, a lot of those, and it all happened through action. I didn't know much. Like I didn't know how to close a sale, or how to build trust, or how to build a rapport or anything. I was just calling people and selling, and that's how it started. That's what pulled the trigger. It wasn't like it was 6 months after that when I realized that just selling and speaking to people feels okay. I'm making money. I'm doing good here, but like something's missing. I'm not making a deep change in those people's lives. I'm a product of hype, of motivation, of like you can do this, like you got it. And I didn't like being that, I like it didn't come natural. It was forced in a way, and it lacked depth, and I'm a big proponent of depth now.
I
Can you
think
hear
you
me, by
fell
the way?
out a
Is
little
your
bit here,
connection
Pablo.
frozen?
I think I lost you, brother.
Can you hear me?
I
Okay,
think
yeah,
I, I,
I think
I
I'm
think I
good.
lost you for a minute there, but I got you now. Yeah, I got you back.
All right, yeah, yeah. So I'm a big proponent of depth when it comes to life in general, and selling didn't have the depth, so I decided to move on to something that has more depth. And at that time, it was the self help world. It was reading books, from Tony Robbins, from Robin Sharma, Jim Rohn. Like all those guys became my dads in a sense. They led me, they built me, and I absorbed their knowledge every day, all day, like crazy, because I love the idea of infinite possibility. Like you can become whatever you want, whoever you want, if you put in enough belief and work. And that's what led me to psychology. So years later, I decided to study psychology. I got a degree in psychology. Then I became an NLP coach. NLP stands for neuro linguistic programming, and that's when I started coaching. And yeah, since then I've been coaching, going to psychotherapy, working with coaches myself. You know, I've also had a spiritual path, but it's a long story. Depending on how you want to go. If you want to take this podcast, we can go into different sides.
Yeah, let's talk about success for a bit. For to me, it seems like success is such a complicated topic because the conversation varies depending on who I talk to. Like,
Hmm.
for some, success is being able to afford material luxuries. For others, it means getting to have location independence and have time to do whatever they wish. And for others, it might mean like brushing your teeth every night and going for a walk. So like,
Yeah.
how do you approach that? Like you're a psychologist, you might have clients that help you out. Like it seems it's so individual, but what does it mean to you?
Okay, so objectively, I've been pondering this question for a while because like nobody was able to. I mean, nobody can generalize success, but I believe you can, and I believe that success is doing what you love as much as you love with the people you love. Like if you can, if what you're doing every day fulfills you, energizes you, it gives you a sense of purpose, and you're doing it with those that you love, like you are living a successful life. It doesn't matter if you are, a waiter or the most successful businessman in the world. If what you're doing
I
every day
think I lost.
fulfills you,
Yeah.
you are successful. It, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
good. And for me, it's the same. Like when I was selling and when I was in multi-level marketing, I cared about money. It was all about money, about the material success. But the more I grew, the more that need for money, ran away from me because I was going deep, and that need stayed, on surface. So success for me now is helping people build themselves into the versions of themselves that they can be, while living authentically. And that authentically living authentically part is the most important part, because like a lot of people can build themselves into something that they don't want to become, and you can see
Yeah.
that all day long. A lot of people are grinding to become the person they don't want to be, that they're just told that they should be, and it's a big mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. Because to me, it seems like living authentically is aligning your mind with your heart and your actions to sort of understand what you want, why you want it, and be aware enough to understand that those wants are not guided by ego. It's not superficial, and at the same time that would align mind and heart, and then put your actions behind that. Is that what you mean by authenticity as well, or do you have a different
100%.
definition?
Definitely,
Yeah.
exactly that.
Okay.
Aligning your mind, soul, and actions. Most important, like for people who aren't into spirituality, I'd say values and actions, because values are more concrete and tangible to them.
Yeah.
But that when it comes to that part of having your soul or heart, as you said, aligned with both your mind and actions, that's crucial, as well.
Yeah, because there's value also in revisiting your values every so often, because things change. And I've said this definition about success as well. It depends. Like, what stage in your life are you in? Like, what does it mean? What we discussed what success really was, but more like your values will change, because one time you might just try to get out of a slump, and another time you're trying to build something, and then you become a parent, and now your values completely change. Revisiting that, I think there's a lot of value in that. So
Big time, big time.
there's an X post from March 29th that you posted that said that it's part of a longer one. You can't think yourself out of an emotional problem, and you can't feel your way out of a thinking problem.
Yeah.
Find the roots and work on it. How do you suggest someone goes about, one, finding the roots, and two, working on it?
I love that tweet, man. When I wrote that tweet, I was like, this will hit a spot for sure, because a lot of people are trying to find the solution through thinking, when the solution is emotional, and vice versa. And I've learned it, when it comes to solving the emotional problems, through working with my psychotherapist, and I've figured out that I've been too cognitive. I've been too intellectual. I've tried to think my way out of every situation, and sometimes you have to calm down the mind, close your eyes, sit and feel whatever that thing and whatever that thing is, and until you do that, that thing will keep coming back. So, when it comes to solving the thinking problems through emotion, what the fastest way to do so is through writing and closing your eyes and identifying the feeling and describing it like as you can, because a lot of people can't identify the feeling right away. They can't say, this is fear or anger or doubt or whatever. So you can just describe it, like, close your eyes, sit, let your thoughts let your thoughts flow, and just ask yourself, all right, what am I feeling now? What is it that's pushing me away from doing X, Y, Z? And once you notice that feeling and label it as you want, just sit with it. And that's when the magic happens. It's called the paradoxical theory of change. As you're sitting with that feeling will start to dissolve, and that energy will become your energy, your power to act and to change. And it's extremely powerful. Um, the most important part there is stopping and giving yourself space and time to notice the feeling. It all starts with noticing the feeling. So step number one would be noticing the feeling. Whenever you're off, and when your thoughts and what you want to do and feelings don't align, stop, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what am I feeling? Step number one. Step number two would be noticing that feeling, right? Where is it in my body? Is it in my chest? Is it in my head? Is it in my legs? My arms? Once you know where it is, you can ask yourself, all right, let me just feel this. Let me just sit with this feeling now. And as you're sitting with the feeling, you will see that after a few moments or a few minutes, it will lose its power, it will lose its grip on you. And the last step would be asking yourself, all right, now that I've accepted this feeling, now that I'm not pushing it, but that has become a part of me, what do I actually want to do? Now that I'm back in control, what do I want to do? And you'll be at peace when you ask that question, and you'll be able to choose what you want to do authentically. And choose is very important there, because a lot of people try to push themselves. I feel like shit, but who cares? I want to do this anyways. Typical toxic masculinity. Philosophy is just pushing and forcing yourself to do the things you don't feel like, and that's totally wrong. For example, Stoicism is all about emotional management, but the way it's communicated, people think it's about forcing yourself to do the things that you don't want to do, which it isn't. Like, it's about learning how to manage your emotions, how to handle them, so that you end up doing what you want to do. So yeah, when it comes to handling, intellectual problems with finding the root and sorting the root, try to feel instead of think your way out of your problem. And then the last step of that process that I described is the most important one. You'll be able to choose what you want to do. And then you'll be intrinsically motivated to take action, and you'll feel aligned, like your thoughts, emotions, and actions will be aligned.
So it's a practice to disidentify from mental emotional patterns to make room for what you actually want to feel like and who you actually want to be.
Yeah, disidentify and as you're doing it, you will embrace, like, that feeling will become yours. You'll embrace it. You'll be at peace
Yeah.
with it. You'll stop pushing it away.
You'll make it your friend.
Yeah, yeah.
One can so easily underestimate the impact and importance of small daily actions that seem pointless and inconsequential. Like, personally, in my life, when I have stuck to something that is meaningful, like a meditation practice or eating healthier or stepping outside in the morning, getting some sun. Like, I can't explain what it is really, but it's like a fresh space. It's like open, peaceful energy. It's not. It's hard to put words to it, but it took so much work to get to know that physical pain that stopped me from making good choices. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of these small actions that can seem pointless, but at the same time, compounded, can be incredibly powerful?
100%, 100%. Small actions, like the point of small actions is to build momentum. It's not to change something instantly, but to build momentum, to stack things. And that's why you'll always see people who fix their sleep, diet, and start working out. Their lives get drastically better very fast, because they've fixed the foundation, and then it comes naturally and much easier for them to do the more complex things. And when it comes to doing those small steps, as you mentioned, every day, it's about allowing yourself to move in a direction that's better for you. Like going out for 5 minute, sun, it won't change much, but it's one small yes to a better me. It's one
Yeah.
small yes to deciding to quit what I've been doing badly and start doing what I want to do, that's good for me. And that's why it's so important because you won't see the issue people have with that is that they don't see the results immediately. But that's not the point. Like when you start doing when you start making those small changes, the point with those small changes is to build momentum and stack. I can on top of each other, and after a few days, you will just feel different. You'll wake up feeling different. You'll wake up thinking different, and you'll have different needs. Your unconscious mind will push you in different direction because of those small things you've been stacking up, whatever they are for you.
Yeah. The moments, I don't know if you've struggled with it yourself, or if you had a client or you've spoken to somebody that has struggled with it, but many times I've gone in and out of periods with good actions, healthy priorities, building habits that are valuable. And then when I start building momentum, there is something in me that is not used to that. I spoke to somebody else about it the other day. Something about me building momentum felt uncomfortable. It felt like I wasn't at place. It felt weird because I hadn't experienced that much compounding of healthy habits in my entire life. So it didn't feel like I was used to it. It was quite opposite. That emotion made me rationalize why it was okay to go back to something that was comfortable. Have you ever heard about that before? Have you ever you probably heard or know something about like the psychology of self-sabotage.
Yeah, of course, yeah, definitely. Well, in what you're describing sounds very interesting, and I guess what you like you had a certain you attach a certain meaning to the change that you wanted to experience, which always pushed you away from doing the thing, and it was a combination of cognitive and emotional connotation that pushed you away from making those small decisions and small changes every day. I'd say that's the case, when it comes to what you're describing, and until you change the emotional connotation and the cognitive connotation of your unconscious mind, you'll keep sabotaging yourself and you'll keep pushing yourself away from what's good for you.
That's so weird. But at the
Yeah, it
same time,
is.
it does make sense though. But
Yeah, I mean,
what's
sorry, but like that's something that a lot of people are forgetting. But like human beings are emotional beings first and rational beings second. Like we don't make decisions based on the mind, and
yeah,
logic is just used to describe what's happening within. That's much more complex than logic.
yeah, yeah. What I think is weird about it is how we can rationalize going back to something that destroyed us in the past just because it was uncomfortable. It makes sense when we think about us being emotional beings before we were rational ones.
Yeah, definitely.
So, as another X post of yours that you posted on March 31st that I found really interesting is also part of a longer post, but the end of it says, "When you're lost, the answer is not to search, it's to create. But if someone is lost, how can they possibly know what to create?" I feel like an answer to that is like anything, build, like create anything. But isn't that a terrible premise for someone who's lost?
That's a good question. Well, for someone who is lost, we have to first of all define what lost means for them. Like, what do they mean by I'm lost? Like, they're definitely not entirely lost, right? Like, they just feel lost towards a certain direction. So I would say that starting with like figuring out what do you mean by lost is very important, because you might not be lost at all. You might just be tricking yourself because you don't have a certain answer. You might be delusional, you might be ignorant, but you're certainly not lost.
Yeah.
And in that case, movement and momentum seems shallow, but it's extremely powerful. It's extremely important because your body and your mind and your soul are starting to go in a different direction with small actions. So it's not a small thing. It's not like an irrelevant like motivational fluff thing. It's actually very important. And in that case, starting to create anything that you feel drawn towards, that you feel inspired to create, will kickstart, that momentum, which will make your brain work and think differently than it used to. When you're stuck, like you're not creating, like you're not moving anywhere, you're just stuck and you're circling in those thoughts. And that's why creating anything that you feel inspired to create, like it can be a wooden thing with your, like you can create something with your hands. It doesn't have to be anything digital. Any creation is good because it kickstarts your mind to think in terms of possibilities and solutions to problems rather than just problems.
So it's
And
like
that's
breaking a, so it's like breaking a pattern.
yeah, literally. And that's why creation like is very important, regardless of how purposeful it is. If you're stuck, obviously, but like if
Yeah.
you're on a different level, then there's different questions that you can ask yourself to direct yourself more with more nuance.
Yeah, because it could be like create a meal, like make a meal, find a recipe, make a beat, drum on your desk, like dance a little bit. Like it's anything that's small that is actionable and you can do it immediately. More like that.
100%, literally, yeah, definitely.
Talk to me about consistency and discipline and how you approach doing the things you know you have to do while not wanting to do them.
Love that question. That's I don't know. I can't tell how important the answer to this question is, but I can only tell that it's very important. A lot of people are avoiding doing what they want to do, and they're creating that dissonance because what they feel and what they want to do is different. And bridging the gap between what you feel you should do and what you think you should do is one of the most important things anybody can learn to do in life, because like that's when authenticity, alignment, and action happen, and that's when you monopolize them. That's when you start to control them. So how to do that would be defining what you want and defining what you're feeling about it. If you want to, I don't know, if I want to do outreach today, if you want to sell today, if you want to create today, if you want to film a podcast today, I define that. Then I'd ask myself, all right, how am I feeling about this? And as you're asking yourself that question, different feelings will pop up. I might be afraid, which will most likely be the case, afraid of failure, fear, or judgment. I might be, doubting myself. I might be in shame. Whatever the emotion is, whatever the feeling is, write that feeling down so you see it. Once you write the feeling down, ask yourself, all right, what am I afraid of? Like, why is this doubt here? Ask the why. Like, start with the why. And as you're questioning the emotion that you just wrote down, you will start seeing that it's your creation, and it's not just like it's not a fact. It's just an assumption, right? And a lot of people will just like the most important, the biggest problem here is that they don't stop, as we spoke earlier. A lot of people, when they feel that dissonance between wanting to do something and feeling like they shouldn't do it, they don't stop and question it. They run away and distract themselves with something. So in this case, stopping and asking yourself, all right, what do I want to do? How do I feel about it? And how can I bridge the two? Can help a lot. Like I don't want to lay out the detailed questions here because they're different for everybody. But changing the meaning of what doing it feels for you, the meaning can be emotional as well. It's not just intellectual. Changing the meaning is going to be the fastest way to change, to align thoughts and feelings. So if you perceive outreach as something that will hurt you, you can change that meaning by asking yourself, all right, I believe this will hurt me because I'm focused on the outcome that will hurt me. But what if I change what I'm focused on? What if I start focusing on a different thing? What if I switch my perspective? So if I start seeing outreach as a way to help people, as a way to bring value into people's lives, and as a way to build myself, instead of a vehicle that will hurt me in some sense, would that same activity feel the same? And that's when you'll get a different answer. It won't feel the same. And then it's a matter of asking yourself, all right, what's the smallest amount of this action that I can take right now from this state? You know, like you can't force yourself to act from that state every day, all day. But like if you can just send one cold DM from that state of being, that's success for that day. And then tomorrow you can do 2 DMs, and so on and so forth. But like that's the fastest generalizable way I would say to bridge the thought and emotion.
So it's a way it's a, to clarify your why, your goal. What do you want to have? What do you want to achieve? Who do you want to be? And then reverse engineer so that you understand what actions, daily consistent actions, you will have to take to achieve that, whatever that may be. The goal might be small, might be big. And then, to me, that would make, or it is in the process of making those small steps, daily steps, more enjoyable. Like, it's a journey, right? It's not necessarily for me like a destination, consistency to like a road, and at the top of the mountain there's another mountaintop, and then I go to that mountain and now I'm successful.
Yeah.
Consistency and discipline to me is more the understanding that I do what's right in accordance to my goals or my vision, regardless if I feel like doing it or not. Mm-hmm. And that becomes easier if the goal is clear, the vision is clear, and I'm optimistic and positive about my actions towards reaching that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or I guess reaching is wrong again, because to me it's not necessarily like a destination. It's more like a journey. Like it's to enjoy like the moment to moment to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, that's you've said it perfectly, man. And it's that's the most important part, because if you aren't enjoying what you're doing every day, you'll get the outcome and crave something else, and you'll never feel at peace and satisfied. And being at peace and satisfied is the highest state. Like the is what everybody's for. Everybody.
That's it's so sad to me, because I was terrible at school. I absolutely hated going there. The only thing I actually liked is that I'm going to be around my friends. It's going to be fun because I'm with my friends. But like the system itself was I just absolutely hated it. And I couldn't understand how people, because when I started reading those self-help books when I was 18, I read that if you don't enjoy the journey, you're not going to reach, whatever you are trying to get to is not going to be enjoyable either. And then, you know, my friends started going to university and college or whatever the equivalent in your country is. And a year or a year and a half or 2 years into that, they were like, oh, I fucking hate this thing, and I can't wait to be done, and I can't. And I'm like, aligning those two, understanding the experience of my friends hating what they were doing, and me understanding that if you don't enjoy the journey, you're not going to enjoy the destination. And they're like, yeah, but I'm going to be making this and this much money. It's like it's a spiritual, timeless piece of wisdom that materialism is not necessarily, or money is not necessarily going to solve your happiness problem. It's going to solve your money problem, but it's not going to solve your happiness problem. So to me, it was just so obvious that I wasn't going to continue going to college or university on something that I wasn't absolutely sure I was going to enjoy. And that's probably one of the reasons I'm starting to realize, probably one of the reasons that I've been so paralyzed the past 8 years. It's because I hadn't really found what I wanted to do. And I felt like I had to be absolutely sure before I started. But now that I realized that was just pushing me back, or it was holding me from actually taking action, actually doing something, creating something, instead of just waiting for some spark of motivation or spark of clarity to get me out of my ass. I realized I just needed to start something. I just needed to just whatever idea that pops up first, a project, whatever, start taking small steps to that soon, and or immediately just begin and then keep going. And I'm actually enjoying it, man. I think this is such a fun, I haven't done it for a long time, but I look forward to it now. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I have this thing that I'm working on. I have this project, I have this vision, I have this goal. And it just taking a step towards that is just, It's such a good feeling. It's hard to explain.
100%, like that's it. I
Yeah.
can feel that. And when I mentioned Dubai, back at the beginning, that's exactly it. Like people there are moving fast and deciding fast, and they're always in motion. Motion is extremely important, as you know. Like if you're stuck, if you're stagnating, you like depression and misery are inevitable. And for anybody who wants to create anything at any level, and that's why I always say that procrastination and like fear is the biggest reason people get and remain stuck forever. It's our top enemy, although it's good, like it's objectively good because it's keeping us alive. In this modern era, it's more about blocking us from doing what we want than surviving. And what you mentioned is extremely important. That it's that motion. Like you always have to be working on something that you're finding meaningful and that you're enjoying, and it,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be perfect. It can
Yeah.
be anything. Like that's the. It kept me stuck for 3 years, 3+ years. In your case, it was like you said 8. And for some people, it's lifetime. It's their whole life,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you can break it today by simply putting aside 10 minutes to do something about what you care for, literally, nothing else.
Yeah.
And it
It
can
just have to
kickstart
be
momentum.
slightly exciting.
Yeah, yeah. It has to naturally, like, you have to be naturally pulled toward it. Because if you're not,
Yeah.
you're forcing yourself. And forcing
Yeah.
always leads to burnout sooner or later. Like, forcing isn't
Yeah.
good ever.
That's true. Do
Every
you believe
time,
in
like, every
God?
time I work with somebody who's burnt out, you can always see that they've been forcing themselves. Like, there was a misalignment between emotions and thoughts and actions.
Yeah.
And that's what caused the burnout. And it just kept
Yeah.
going and going and going for some time until
Yeah.
they felt so drained that they can't move.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many people struggling with that right now. That misalignment of mind and heart and actions. I feel like we're encouraged to chase emptiness,
Oh yeah,
you know?
totally.
So weird.
I mean, I don't know the statistics. It doesn't exist. But like, if I could say, I'd say that 0.1, 0.00001 are living in that alignment, and
Yeah.
99.999 are living outside of the alignment. Because we've been fed the narrative that we should be X, Y, and Z, and we started to believe it, and we started chasing things we don't truly want for the
Yeah.
sake of satisfying our parents, idols, friends, whoever, and
Politicians.
politicians definitely. And the most important question anybody can ask themselves is, all right, what I want out of my life? Is it what I've been told? Is it what I think I want? Or is it what I feel I want? And it's always what I
Yeah.
feel I want. But they always outsmart themselves. They always try to come up with excuses to avoid and suppress that feeling, that need, although they know it's true. And then sooner or later,
Yeah.
they'll have to go after it. Or they, in most cases, they'll just suppress it so deep that they never go after it. But those who
Conform.
do, they are the ones who believe and experience the beauty of life.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many that are scared to, like, they're realizing that the life that they chose, the path that they chose, isn't fulfilling them, and they're starting to like wake up to the fact that like, holy shit, maybe I should do something else. I feel like there's a lot of people on the edge, and I feel like if you are the person that is on the edge, that is not conforming, that you're not happy, and you're realizing that if you try something differently, that you're actually gonna live a more fulfilled life. Yeah, maybe you're gonna make less money. Yeah, maybe you have to move cities. Yeah, maybe you have to relocate your kids to a different school. But it's so fucking worth it. Like I can't. It's. I feel like if you are that person, you have to take that leap because you're gonna fucking regret it for so long, or not necessarily long, but you're gonna reach, I don't know, retirement age. Are you gonna wait until that before you like do something you actually want to love? It's so crazy to wait that long.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to wait until you're retired to do what you like and to do what you love. Like go now, like do it right now.
100%. Even worse, you'll live your life in feeling like something is lacking all the time, and then you'll get to your retirement, for example, and then you're going like you'll be like, all right, let's start doing what I love now. Not happening.
Your hips
Yeah,
are hurting, your knees are aching.
yeah, yeah,
Are you
exactly.
are you are you God? Do you believe in God, Pavle?
I believe in, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. I like to make a big distinction between spirituality and religion. Religion is just a set of rules, a set of dogmas, and a set of systems, whereas spirituality is experiential, and you can't describe spirituality with precision through the lens of the mind. And I've been debating and discussing this with many religious people, because they're trying to convey the truth, the ultimate truth, through the mind. And I'm always telling them, like, you can't convey the ultimate truth through the mind. It's impossible. The mind is limited. It functions in symbols and stories, and the ultimate truth is beyond the mind. So if you want to find the truth, go beyond the mind, not within the mind. But like, obviously, a lot of people will disagree with this, and that's perfectly fine. Like,
Yeah,
if their structure is giving them peace and love, perfectly fine. Whatever the path is.
yeah, I agree.
What about you?
Yeah, I believe in God in the sense that there is a higher power, meaning the fact that we are here makes no sense to me unless there is a God. Like, what is God? Like, is it universal wisdom? Is it intelligence? Like, how was the atom created? Like, how was the first flower, created? How was the first human, the first animal? That to me, that whatever that intelligence is that creates that, to me is God. But I don't know how. It's not religious. It's not. I don't feel like it's spirituality either. But it's some creation, like some power that has the ability to create physical
Mm-hmm.
creation.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is God, but I don't know what it is. you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can't define God either. I've tried many times, but there simply is no. I truly believe that we are bound by the rules and the limitations of the mind, and that we can't grasp the concept of God is in its entirety because of that. Like, we can't go beyond our, at least intellectually, we can't go beyond our thoughts and symbols and stories. We can only feel that. But then when it comes to portraying what we feel through our thoughts and stories, we can do it with precision. And
Mm.
yeah, I also believe that God is something. I wouldn't define it. I wouldn't try to describe it from human lens. I wouldn't try to define it as a person. I'd say it's also something close to the universal energy that's created our soul, but like now how it functions, no idea.
yeah, yeah. It's how it functions. It's a tough one.
I gave up. I gave up when asking that question because I figured out that it asking that question, pondering the answer didn't give me any, didn't do me any good, didn't give me
Yeah,
any satisfaction, peace, love, anything. So I believe in the practical side of spirituality or religion, like of any whatever you can call it, whatever you want. But like, I
yeah,
believe that the practical side, the side in which you are connecting your soul and your energy with that infinite energy is the most important part. And that's why, like, you will always see highly religious people who are religious but also very spiritual, if I should say it like that, that they pinpoint the core concept of a religion, which is to connect with God. Like,
yeah,
being close with God, which is a feeling close to God, and having him in your heart is the most important thing. And if that's not there, all the rules, behaviors, and dogmas won't help you.
yeah. Back to the alignment of heart and mind and actions.
Yep, yep, yep.
I love that. We're gonna round it out here with a tweet that you posted. I don't remember when it was, but it was about if you don't have something to die for, then you won't work hard. or you don't have a strong enough purpose to actually go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, question to you to round this off: what is something that you're willing to die for?
Growth. I believe my highest value is growth. I believe that we are here to grow as species, and my growth is it's a belief. It's a belief rooted in a deep feeling that I have to keep myself in motion towards what I feel is right. And if I stop, if something or if I stop that, or if something stops that, like I'd be willing to die. Not literally, but like that's something that gets me out of bed every day. That pulls me so hard, and it's so important that if that disappeared, I not that I wouldn't exist, but like I'd be scattered, you know. And
But you would survive scatter, right? I think you
was
would
that?
survive. I think you would survive being scattered. You'd be like, you pick
Oh, of
yourself
course.
up, you go back working over it, right?
No, of course,
But
of course,
like,
of course.
what would you literally die for? Maybe that's a question for something later. Maybe you need to ponder that a little bit.
Just yeah, literally dying for something. Well, there are a lot of hypothetical scenarios. I can come up with a lot of scenarios, but like something actual, something tangible, real. Not sure. I don't want to throw something on the wall here because I'm not
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
I like that. I like that answer. I like that answer
What
because
about you?
my first reaction is my girlfriend,
Hmm.
my girl. I would if I had a choice, like you get to choose who gets to live, I'd be like, take me,
Hmm.
because I think that her ability and her human abilities will impact humanity more than myself. I think I
Hmm.
would have a strong impact too, but her ability to communicate, her ability to love is amazing. So I think I would say my girlfriend. Uh,
Okay.
Besides that, if I was single, are you single?
No, I have a girlfriend as well. Actually, I
I have a
came back
girlfriend.
from Dubai, 2023. Met her, and since then, I spent more time in Serbia than in Dubai because, you know, um, you know how it goes, man.
Love is
When you meet
powerful.
somebody, yeah, it is, it is.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful. Well, I think we can round it off, Pavle. I really appreciate your time. I hope we can do this again sometime in the future when I get the show rolling, and maybe we can ponder more about the things that we might die for.
Man, thanks for inviting me. It was such a pleasure getting to know you, and yeah, I hope this will find the people who need to hear this, and I really wish you all the best with the podcast.